Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are working on our balatro mod. Balatro mod. and we're on maybe the third stream of this. And today's task is trying to get some sort of like score pre-calculation showing up in the UI. So here is the game, Balatro. And the goal of the game is to, I don't know, pass some threshold of points every round, and you do so by playing poker hands, right? So you have here, like, you get Delta Deck, hand. You go like, maybe I'm going to try to build like a pair or a two pair or a full house or something. I'm like, oh, I've got two pairs here. Let's play that. And that gives you some amount of points. And the way those points are calculated is you have like kind of score, like hand base scores that can get leveled up. So in the context here, we're going to be playing a pair. So we see pairs here give you 10 points times 2, but it's not just the 10 points by times 2, it's the 10 points plus however many points are in the scoring hand. So in this, if I were to play this 7, 7, 6, 3, 6 and 3 aren't part of the pair, so they're not counted, but we add the 7s here, right? So we get 10 plus 7 is 17, plus another 7 is 24. So we should get 24 times 2 points is 48, right? So that should be what we get. Now, this can actually also get more complicated if we have like jokers in our hand, right? We might have a guy here that says, give me +4 multiplier, right? So now we have 10 times 2, but it's not 10, it's 10 plus 16, 26 times 2, but it's not times 2, it's times 2 plus 4. So it's 20, what do we say? 26 times 6, which is 12, what is it, 26 times 6? So 144 question mark, maybe, is that what we're gonna see? No, 156. I was a little bit off. And so we can see where the problem is. The problem is I can't multiply numbers together. I suck at it, right? So as this gets more and more complex as well, you get like more and more jokers, right? So you might get some that like multiply, add +3 multiplier for each club in your hand, or like, adds the number of times this poker hand has been played to the multiplier, or like, each king in the hand gives a 1.5 times multiplier, but like when the times 1.5 gets applied is like really important, and it gets applied kind of at the point that each king is registered. So even just shuffling the order of kings around in your hands will like change the score and stuff like that. So, what we have done is we have found where in the source code it does this like score calculation. And it turns out that this is like not really like an abstracted thing, right? In their source code, it's kind of like the score calculation and the like animation stuff. Everything is kind of like in line, right? So when I do this, let's slow down the animation so we can talk about it. You see that like you press play, it like brings the cards up here. He highlights one, adds +4, adds the multiplier, then does the score. All of that is like in one function. So what we've done so far is we have basically stubbed out all of the UI functions that it uses, and like it also like adjusts like global game state. So we like back up the global game state. We like stub out all the UI functions so it doesn't do anything, and we just run the function like 1,000 times, restoring state in between. And the reason that we do that is because some things like depend on randomness, right? So you might have something that's like this guy, he's got a misprint, and he's going to give you a different multiplier every time you run him. So if I were to play this thing, we run this function 1,000 times, and we say, okay, in the 1,000 times we ran this thing, we got scores between 270 and 960, which lines up with the 870 that we get here, right? That's what we have so far. We could theoretically get the exact score, but I think that's cheating too much. I want to cheat, but only a little bit, right? All I'm trying to do here is avoid having to do like the mental math every time. And so we have this function. And so now what I want to do is I want to run that function not when we play the hand, which is stupid, because that doesn't give us anything, but I want to basically run that function when I highlight some cards, right? So say I were to highlight this 9 and 6, I want to know what like range of scores I could get out of that. And so I'm thinking that maybe like we take this part of the UI and we just kind of like shrink it a little bit and shove like a pre-calculated score range at the bottom or something. That's what I want to try today. We'll see how it goes. It might be easy, it might be hard. Who fucking knows? But yeah, let's take a look. So we have somewhere in this source code someone must call the function that we found that calculates the score, right? So we've been kind of in state events.lua. In here, we found this function, something that we evaluate play. Evaluate play is what it's called. And so we should figure out who the fuck calls this. Because presumably whoever calls this is also the person who sets up the state for this to be okay. Okay, so where are we? We are in a function called play cards from highlighted. Sounds promising. Sounds very promising, actually. And in here, what's he do? He does a bunch of stuff. He sorts the hand by the X positions in the, I assume that's what this is, A.T. I assume this is like literally like the translation of the card in 2D space. So he's saying like if it's on the left, it should be on the left. That's kind of interesting. Then what does he do? He does like career stats. We don't care about that. We shouldn't be doing those things. Ease hands played. I would assume that this is some sort of like animation function. I assume this is gonna be like, so he's got some function -1. Okay. And pop up text next to the chips in UI showing the number of chips gained or lost. Ease hands played. Oh, I see. So this is probably in the UI. If we go continue here, it's probably this hands for here. He throws up a -1 in here and then eases that -1 in and out. That's probably what we're seeing there, which again, we don't really care about. Probably. We might care about that if any cards depend on the number of hands played. But no, because our hands played won't be changing in any of our score calculation. So we should be fine there. So we don't care about that. Then he goes for each highlighted card in the hand. I'm assuming right now, I don't know, but I'm assuming that means like the stuff that we've clicked on to say we're about to play these. I'm assuming that's what highlighted means. What's going on here? If it's a face card, then he increments face cards played. Sure, we don't care about that. Base times played. So he's calculating the number of times this card has been played, and if it's been played this ante. I assume we don't care about these because these will only affect, like any effect that this has will only change future state, not current state. I think. But we do have to be careful about that. Because I know that there are some things that like change based off of how many times a hand has been played, but I think that all of those things happen in UI. You like see them happen after you hit the play button. Or like as it like goes like card by card or something. So I think we don't have to worry about that either. Check for unlock type run card replays. I think that we're not going to do any unlocking of features here either. We're just trying to calculate the score. So again, I think that basically we don't really care about any of this stuff. Okay? But well, we'd probably care about this though. Draw card. This is like the interesting part. So he takes the card from the hand and he puts it in the play area. So this we're gonna need. So we want this. Then if we press play, I would have thought that we have already pressed play in order to get here. Who calls this? Play cards from highlighted. It looks like we have here a function can play. And if we can play, we set the button to blue, and when the button is clicked, this function is called. It looks like. So this is triggered literally from play cards from highlighted. So then what is happening here? If this... What the fuck? Blind juice up. If blind can play. I mean, this is all UI stuff, right? HUD blind, juice up, juice up, juice up. That's like make the card big and stuff. This function seems to happen after playing. Don't you need an on highlight or something? Yes, I mean, I agree. But I'm trying to figure out what we're missing from... Like, we are right now, we are hooking into the played state after this is called, right? So I want to make sure that we're not missing any, like, work that we have to do in order to get to the right spot, right? This is where evaluate play is here. We're kind of working backwards from evaluate play up to where we need to be. So it looks like the only thing that we need to do before evaluate play is call the draw card function here. So this is going to be like for each in G hand highlighted, draw card from hand to play. This is what we have to do. And then the question is now, I guess, how do cards get highlighted? That's probably the next question, right? So we have play cards from highlighted, which is, you know, set up to trigger on the play button, right? But how do we highlight and unhighlight cards? I guess it seems like whoever inserts into hand highlighted, we should probably be looking for. So can we look for like maybe insert highlighted or maybe draw card to highlighted? Oh no, because draw card goes from hand to play. So look at like card area. Okay, this is in G hand highlighted. So we're looking probably for something that's like dot highlighted equals. Okay, wait, okay. So card highlight. So let's look for something that's like highlight. Card highlight in the card area seems promising. Add to highlighted seems pretty promising. G hand add to highlighted on card area update. So this is if if forced selection. That's close. That's not what we want though. We want somewhere else. Card click. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for. So if okay, so there's remove from highlighted and add to highlighted here. Card click. So who calls this? Who calls this? Probably the controller. Okay. Clicked.target.click. Aha. So it's kind of here. Okay, so probably card click is like where this belongs. Probably. It doesn't really feel like architecturally where I would want it, but we need to remember that the goal here is not to implement something that is the most architecturally correct. The goal here is to implement something that has the smallest or like the most mergeable diff to the original source code, right? So we should prefer not changing anything that exists in the code. We should prefer only adding our own stuff on top, right? So that like if we ever get an update in the future, it should be relative. Like we're trying to make it so that it's easy to merge in any changes they make, which means not touching their code as much as we fucking can, right? It's easy for us to add code because like the diff tools will figure out, oh, this isn't what they did. This is what you did. But so we have to keep that in mind. So in that world, if they have an add to highlighted and remove from highlighted section function in the card area, it happens on card click. Function add to highlight. Add to highlighted here. We need to figure out where. I guess like wherever they inject into G hand highlighted or whatever the fuck it's called is probably where we hook. So it's add to highlighted here, self highlighted equals all these things, card highlight true, and then in card Lua we have highlight. And is this where he injects into G highlighted? I forget. I'm lost. Where was it? G and highlighted. No. Card highlight, is it here? If use button, set ability, unhighlight all. How familiar are you with black box reverse engineering? Not very at all. Probably not at all would be the right answer there. Yeah, where the fuck? We got here from somewhere. We got here from searching for highlight, which was in G cards. G hand highlighted. Okay, can we just grep for G hand highlighted? And look for anywhere in here that like looks like he's inserting into this thing. Dude. Change suit. Yeah, like where the fuck is he actually like injecting? What is G hand? Game Lua. Hand equals card area. Right. So in the card area, self highlighted. This okay. We're back. If you wanted a small diff that self-rebases, make the diff a duplicate of the original function with a new name, have the original function called new and root that function. That's what I've been doing to some extent. Yeah, okay, so this is where the highlight gets applied. So that's kind of weird because now in the card area context, we don't know what type of hand we are, I don't think. We only want to run this calculation if this is the play area. Oh, but we have config type here. So it's probably this. Parse highlighted. Oh yeah, this is it. Right, this is what we fucking want. It's when we highlight, it knows to update the like hand into stats on the left, right? So if I click like 4/4, it changes to pair here, right? So we're trying to hook into this, which is this parse highlighted section, right? Because he says update hand text here. What the fuck is backwards? Oh, sure. So maybe we don't know what the card is. So I guess what do we do here? We only want to run our score calculation. We want to add their score calculation. I get, or we only, I guess when we do our score calculation, we could probably set like a lower bound based off of the non backwards cards. But in reality, maybe we just only do this if we know. So we do it here. It's almost like we want to do it in update hand text. Almost. But we could do it here for now. So here, can we just inject a function that's like, well, I guess it depends. Like, no, I think we do want to do an update hand text because we want to make sure that we cover every single case where the cards have changed, which seems like update hand text is probably handling. I think that's this guy's job, if we were to guess. So here, let's just for now hook in here and see what happens. So let's call like calculate highlighted score, or like update highlighted score. Okay. Yeah, sure. That should be fine. Highlighted, true. True. Okay. So now we know that our job is to back up the game state. Where the fuck were we? It's in eval something mod. So we basically just want to do whatever the fuck we were doing in here, but here now, with the additional step of drawing cards from hand to play. So we construct our backup. Oh, we probably shouldn't. So yeah, we construct our backup. Then we do the draw card stuff. I guess here first we do our deep copy as well. G is this. Then we do the draw card stuff. Then we set our checkpoint, which is just the existing G, I guess. We've kind of like made some changes to it, but we then deep copy our checkpoint again so that like any changes that we make from this point onwards, we can revert back to this state. Then we do this stuff where we run for like 100 iterations, figure out what changed from last time so that we can like restore it, then do the score calculation. Okay. Then print, and then restore G. G backup. Here, deep copy has to be, I don't know, like this, I guess. And so then all we have to do is draw the cards. Okay. I guess we also have to copy the like log score function and stuff. It's like here. Okay, let's just kind of try that and see where that goes. So I guess let's just find the draw card thing again. Where was that? That was in whoever calls evaluate play. This guy, he had this like draw card here. And so he's drawing from hand to play. I think that let's look at the implementation of this thing. Like, what is going on in this guy? From to percent sort nil highlighted. Oh, I think we also saw something about like, do we need to sort highlighted cards by X position? I think we saw that in there as well, right? We saw that like here. Yeah. Which is sure. So every time we update, we yeah, so we go for each of these, do this. Okay. And then do we need to like disable some functionality in here? Is deep copying the card file? Oh, it's in the global in the game code. Yeah, I think everything is like basically global. I think. I could be wrong. But I think that like all functions are put into the global state on parse, and then you can call them from anywhere, I think. Okay. So yeah, what does draw card do? Because we need to figure out what these like parameters are for. So like percent. What is percent? Percent is used for play sound. Oh, okay. So here they're saying like each card gets like a number, like a percentage, and we go when you play the sound, it goes like ding 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 ding. Like it gets like higher and higher pitched as you play more and more cards. So that's what this is doing. In reality, we don't want to do a lot of this. If sort, then we sort. So we have sort is nil, but we do want to sort in some way, but only after we've sorted here. So we've got the sort covered. We don't want to play any sounds. We don't want to do any of this. We have like if card. So card is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So card is set, which means that we are in this path, which basically just means that we do from remove card. We don't care about flipping it. We don't give a fuck about that. So it's just from remove card to in place. Everything else is like UI shit, which we don't care about. So we should be able to go like G hand remove card, which we need to define. So card is G hand highlighted I. Shouldn't isn't this being done as we're fucking iterating? But they're getting around that by dispatching to the event handler. Oh, fuck me. Okay, so we can't just blindly do this, right? Because if we were to do this, in place card nil Drew, right? If we were to do this, then I like the highlighted section is changing as we are doing these, right? Which means that we should like make a list to move. I think I'm not 100% on this, but I'd rather be safe here than sorry. We'll just put a note. Seems like removing, adding cards will change structures as we are iterating. And I'm writing seems like because to indicate to future me that I did not check. G hand highlighted I. Okay. Now we can go for each thing in 2move, which will not make change. Okay. Cool. And then we just do the rest. That's a maybe. It's a probably not, to be honest, but it's also a maybe. Okay. So we click on this guy. Hello. There you go. Click. And attempt to index a nil value at state events 706. Update highlighted score. Update hand text. Oh, yeah. Okay. So in function, evaluate play mod. Oh, that's annoying. 706. Here. So G game hands text played. So what the fuck is happening? What he said, it was a nil value, which means that text is probably a nil value, which probably means that our function needs to be after. Just kind of like if we were to just guess a little bit. Like I would assume that update hand texts is changing something that will be used somewhere else. So if we were to just take a little guessy, I would just put this down here and see if that changed anything, right? Probably, like, there's a good chance that it doesn't, but it's a good first guess. And if it works, then we don't have to think about it. And if it doesn't work, then we do have to think about it. I don't know why it takes so long for me to be able to select these things. Oh. Okay. So that's good. We did get something there on click. On remove, I think that there's probably some edge case of like if G hand highlighted is 0, if there's nothing highlighted, then we probably have to like do something else. So this is in the future. Remove highlighted score text. Right, that's kind of what we're gonna have to do there. But let's see if that kind of works now. Yo. Play. Continue. Okay, so we play this for hello, and it says between 72 and 279, and it looks consistent, which is good. Then we click this one, and this score is lower, between 45 and 252, which makes sense because we have this like club multiplier thing. If we get rid of this joker now and start clicking this again, now the scores are consistent between 72 and 72, between 162 and 162. Yeah, this looks promising. So here it's switching from pair to single, which means that the 75 wins. Then here we go to 72. 72 to 75 is a little surprising. Why? Oh, because it's a 3-point difference. Am I stupid? Shouldn't these differences be way bigger? Okay, if I play this, I get 72. That does say 72. Why is that 72 and this is 75? Oh, because one was a club. Okay, that makes better sense. Okay. Yeah. My bad. My bad. Yeah, because one was a club. This is why. This is why I need the fucking. I need the mod. I need the mod because I'm too stupid to keep track of all this state in my head. Although I guess that's kind of like the game. There's a good chance that I write this and then never use it because I feel like it's cheating too much. But that's not the point. The point is to make the thing. Okay. Also, I don't know if you guys can notice, but there is definitely some lag when I click on these things. That's solvable, I think, by using the event manager to do the calculation. But we'll figure that out later. Okay, so it looks hand wavy like this is working. We have this guy, and so what we want to do now is we want to say after we calculate it, the point is to read tens of thousands of lines of Lua code. Yeah. Now we need to figure out basically how to like inject something into the UI, which we don't know how to do yet. So where I guess maybe the first thing that we want to do is actually make space in UI for our thing, and then at some point after we will actually add to UI. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to find somewhere to hook. Or not hook, hook is the wrong word. But to adjust to basically move all of this stuff down, right? So we have the update hand text is like a good spot to start looking, probably. Which is where we were. So what does this guy do? He has hand text area chips update. And presumably we have hand text area dot mult update. So presumably hand text area was probably constructed somewhere with some size parameters. I would assume. We don't really know, but get UI element by ID. Okay. So we have hand chips somewhere. Who has some ID hand chips here? And we can just start like looking at this to see if we see anything that makes sense to us. So flame handler. So this is a hand chip area here who has width and height here, width and height here for, I don't know what UIT.b is. We saw like hand mult somewhere as well, right down here. B, I assume, is maybe like a break, right? So maybe like there's some spacing element between the, I don't know, something and something else. Just a guess. I would guess that C is maybe container, right? So here we have a container of maybe things that are like overlapping each other, right? We have like the flame multiplier thing and the hand multiplier thing or something. And I would assume that this is like sitting on top of this. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, let's just increase this to 1.0 because I suspect here that that is a break between elements in a stack, maybe like in like a layout, maybe. So can we start a new run, try to get the flames on, and see how that fucked up whatever we like. If we can like see how the UI is fucked up in a way that like makes sense to us, then that gives us a good clue about how this UI system works. So if I press play here, we should start seeing some flames. Oh no, this thing wasn't big enough. We need a better hand. Maybe a pair? And then more jokers. Okay. Oh my god, hurry up. Okay, so I don't see anything really too interesting. Like the malt side flames and the flames on the left side didn't change. So that means that whatever the fuck I did here had no like noticeable effect that I understand. Can we look at like what UIT equals? New UIT. Ah. Okay, wait, this was kind of close. So I was right that this is a column. So B is box. Yeah, so it looks like I was kind of right, but maybe the box just like gets like squashed down or something later. Do I have Lua LS? No, I didn't install any language servers. Maybe I should have, but we didn't get there. Okay. So we have some object who's got, mult text reference. He's got some colors, he's got some shadows, he's got some float. And it does seem like scale is like the most reasonable thing to change here. But, I mean, let's just take a little peek. Play. Continue. Okay, so that made the hand text itself a lot smaller, but not like the box that it lives in. Oh! No, wait. Where does like the red box come from? That's probably what we want to ask ourselves. This could also be like padding from the edge. If we make this 0, does the red box look bigger than the blue box? It's a possibility. No, I don't see any change there. Okay. The X does sit between these guys. So we do have like a row here who's got a column of some guys. Okay. Yeah, I don't understand. Oh, here. The area defines this. So can we reduce the size of the area? Min W2, min H1. So what if we make like min H 0? Well, I guess, okay, let's just start here. We change this to UI chips. I'm going to assume that that makes both backgrounds blue. Wasn't that padding in the box, the 0 line with the left edge of the box? Oh, maybe. Could be. Right, so they are both blue now. Then this is handling alignment of the stuff in the box. So that would make sense that you're like pushing this stuff out from the left, maybe? Maybe? So you're saying like we set this to 0, 0, and the 0 should push right up against the left edge of the box that it's in? It's a possibility. Let's take a look. Ah, yeah, it does look like he's like right up against the left edge there. And then if we add the 0.1s back, then he gets a little bit of space on the left. Nice. Good eye. Good eye. Okay. So that means that the sizing that we want to change is the sizing of the container, which looks like here, if we just, it looks like he's setting min, which is kind of lame. But if we do like min H 0.5 here, does that have an effect that we expect? No. No, it does not. But it could also be because it's minimum, not total, right? So if we set scale down to like 1.0 again, maybe now it won't like try to force itself um to fit the contents. Still no, still he's the same size as stuff on the left, but maybe he's like trying to fit the size of this row. Maybe does row have like some form of thing? I'm not sure. Right, like maybe we should look at how min h is used here. So he just sets this guy initially to be min h, and this is containers. So presumably as he rips through the elements in this container, his width and height are going to grow in some way. So th is for each thing in my child. Right. So we are adding to h. So it makes it seem like min h. Oh, this is only on the root. Okay, where else is min h used then? Only in these two places. Sure. So he starts. That seems confusing to me. Like min h is kind of more like start height, as far as I understand. But then why is like not changing it doesn't have like an effect that I understand. Well, that's okay. What is like scale here? What's our like order of magnitude? Um, who fucking knows? Are we even in the right function? Who fucking knows? Hand mult. So where were we? Yeah. 0.4. Okay. So let's just try dropping that down and see if that has an effect that we can comprehend. Okay. So that's interesting. Dropping the scale down means that all of the text is fucking teeny tiny, but like the boxes relative to the window size are kind of staying the same. Right? So that's interesting. Uh okay. What is R here? What is UITR? UIT dot R equals no. UIT equals where do we find here? R is row. Okay. And then where did we find where the parameters here were applied? We looked for like min h. And this is in UI.lua. Okay. So can we look for like who uses the R field in here? Was that in config? Yes, we have config dot R. Okay. R looks like maybe outline radius. Maybe. Which is not really that promising. So if we do like R equals 1.0 here, we should see like some outline on the outside of the entire hand area grow, which I'm not convinced that I'm seeing. So I'm a little concerned there. Uh, what if we make this white? What the fuck is that thing? Okay, so that's all of this. Sure. So I just kind of feel like we want to be like in this thing. I wonder what happens if I just like slap an extra column on here. Or an extra like thing into this column thing. So it could be that like I may have misunderstood. And like, I don't know, man. Let's just like duplicate this whole section. Right? We'll duplicate the whole like 0x0 shit. Okay. So that's promising. I think that we're kind of like falling off the bottom of the screen now, I think. Kind of interesting to screenshot this and compare. Because it could just be that we can just add stuff in there and it like auto scales the height of the sidebar or something to match. Could be. Okay. No, it does look like the bottom of this guy. We need to somehow shrink him. I mean, maybe not by that much. It does seem like we have some room to play with. But I would like to understand how to shrink him at the very least. You know, what if we just make this min height 0 on the row itself? The row that is the blue and red shit. Yeah, I'm not really convinced that changed anything. Like, min h. Can we just change all of these min h's everywhere in here to 0 and then drop the scale down on both of these? Like, surely that should be enough, right? Surely. Play. Play. Oh, there we go. That looks like it did something, I think. I'm pretty confident that these used to look like really square, and now they look not that square. Can we... Okay, yeah, so now that... It looks like this is resetting, though, when the text is re-injected, but at the very least, the size of the container is fine. So now we just have to figure out how to, like, prevent that scale from increasing. Okay, so it looked like just kind of setting min height everywhere along there kind of helped. Then we should look at, like, who's looking for hand malt. Right, so this guy, hand text area malt. He's putting attention text with scale 0.8, which I assume is here. He's like, okay, so on attention text, shouldn't he be like somewhere saying who he's attention texting? And what was it? It was like hand text area malt. Here. So like, what I don't understand is doesn't he need to be putting the like content the new malt value in there somewhere. Like if Val's malt and the current hand malt is not equal to this malt, okay, then we must update it. So we update 0. And then text is delta here, so Val's malt minus current hand malt. Sure. So he is applying that somewhere. What the fuck? Okay, and there was like this update. Update 0. So this is on UI element. Yes. This has got to be where that is. And he might call update text if it's a UI text element, which makes sense. Which are we? Hand malt. So we're in UI Lua 953-ish. This is a object equals Dynatext. So no, this is a UIO. So we're an update object. And then we're looking at like config object. Then he might like recalculate the box or whatever. What the fuck is like a Dynatext? He's calling update text and align letters. Does he set the scale of the letters again? Like, can we look at like self.config.scale? Like, does somebody ever set that? Config.scale equals. That doesn't, oh, here. Ooh, okay, where's this? Feck. Oh, sure. So there's like restrictions in here. Okay. Sure. So this guy might update his scale here. If we comment this out and then go back to hand malt, make sure that these guys' scales are still 1.0. Does that keep the numbers tiny? Teeny tiny? Play. Continue. So they're teeny tiny. They grow again. So not good. Not good, so it's not this. I still suspect attention text here. We could just comment this out and see what happens. We're mutation testing. I don't know what's causing this thing to just kind of like sit there waiting for so long. So that's not it either, which is actually kind of interesting. That's not it either. So who then is in charge of this? Like, it's got to be in this somewhere, right? It has to be. This whole thing is like, if our fucking multiplier value changed, surely we're different. Unless it like is polling every frame, like my UI framework, he's like looking in the global game state. Oh no, okay, so this does it. This does it. Okay. So it is something in here. It has, maybe it is just this. Like he's polling the current hand multiplier state and choosing to update himself if necessary. Yeah, okay. Interesting. So this is the guy. This is the guy. Somebody's looking at this and going like, it's time. So how is that getting hooked up here? Aha! Dynatext. He's looking at the mult text in here, right? This has got to be it. So presumably then the same, we have both this and this. I assume that if we comment out the update here, then it also doesn't apply. Because update's probably the guy who's saying like, yo, Mr. Dynatext, it's time for you to like go and double check if the number changed. No. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Okay, so we know that this is in Dynatext somewhere. And we know that our config is saying ref value and ref table. Ref table, ref value. Dyna text. So here we're looking for whoever regenerates the text based off of ref table and ref value here. Then part scale is equal to v scale. Okay, what is v here? Config string and mult. Dynatext self config equals config. String is this stuff. And as far as I can tell, oh, scale is part of the Dynatext. Okay, wait, then our scale should not be changing here? Ooh, what's this? Self scale times config max width over config width. But do we have those things? I don't think so. Config max W and W, I don't see those. So it doesn't seem reasonable to be there. We have like part scale here on update text. Okay. And can part scale be like font get width times cell scale times part scale times tile scale times font scale times tile scale times font scale? Okay. Do we just want to do like a little just don't update the text for me really quick just to see if we are correct that this is where that would happen? Looks like we're not so lucky. Okay, we need to get a little bit more surgical. I guess we should comment out because I'm going to lose track of this. We change this to just only run on the first pass. Okay, we wait a second. So even that. Oh, hold on, that's a clue. So that makes me think that the attention text is also important. Wherever we saw that guy, where he's like, attention text, because like the thing is changing. So he's like, yo, we're gonna let you know, bitch, it's changing. So if we comment both those things out, does that prevent it from happening? No. So we gotta figure out who's just fucking like wiggling that fucking number around, because surely that's like related. Surely. Ooh. Juice up. Juice up, baby. I love the name Juice Up. I don't know why. It's just like so beautiful to me. Weirdly, it's different now. It's still growing, but it's definitely like it's not like wiggling around all over the place, which is kind of interesting to me. Is it really the like we did find that it was that one line change. So now the number's not changing, but he's still growing, which is even more confusing. Let's just like comment out a bunch of stuff in the area and see kind of where that takes us. Okay, so that's so fucking strange. It's this line, G game, current round, current hand mult. This is somehow triggering the growth of the text in the UI. Very confusing. Very, very interesting. So hand text area mult is this guy who is a Dynatext, right down here, who says, I am bound to current round, current hand mult text. But that's different than what we're updating in update hand text. Oh my god. Was I editing the original file? Did I have like a backup from like a fucking merge? Oh, no. No. Oh, it's down here. This one. This one, the multiplier. Okay. So we are looking at current round, current hand, mult text, which is different than current hand mult. So who is assigning mult text is the question. Right, that's what we're missing. Is somebody is assigning mult text here. Wherever the fuck this is. Button callbacks. If new mult text is not equal to the existing mult text, then we call update text and we scale the number. We scale the number. Looking promising. So let's comment this out. Okay, so we hit play now, and then hopefully we do not see that 0 grow when we click this guy anymore. Let's go, baby. Okay. So that's good. We found something. However, Jesus Christ. So what makes him get, like, something should make him shrink again, I would assume. Text super juice, dude. We're gonna super juice that fucking shit. So, like, someone before was making him small again, I assume. So who goes like hand mult UI text, right? Func here. Oh. Okay, so somehow this object has Dynatext inside him that has some parameters, but this function is not part of the Dynatext. Okay, so who the fuck calls this? I guess it's like, it's gotta be that like someone, the UI object is gonna call thunk probably once per frame. Right? And if the text changes, he's going to do some work on this guy. I will also note that scale here is different than config.scale, which is, I think in here. So that's kind of interesting. Scale number, this is the number, this is the scale, and this is the max. So are we passing in a max here? Maximum is 1,000. That's a big number. Scale is coming from what? What in the mother-loving fuck am I looking at? So these are just all constants? Number is not used. Oh, he is used in the calculation. So he's like, I guess the number is supposed to grow as it gets bigger. So we're like, scale times log. We're doing like log, the base is the number times 10 and the max is the max times 10. Okay. But I don't understand why this is like resetting the scale. So we should assume here. Did we already try commenting this out? I can't remember. So if we comment out the scaling, does the number stay small? Yes. Yes, it does. Okay. And so it's just that when this is 0, it's like too small, which means that like scale is too high here. So if we divided the old scale by 2.3, right, it was like 2.3 to 1. So if we do 0.9 over 2.3, like if we set this to 0.4, let's just see if it looks a little bit more sane. Like if the number kind of stays approximately the same size, I would assume so. I would assume that like maybe these two numbers were tuned together. Okay, that seems kind of reasonable. Reasonable by some metric of reasonable. Reasonable that like it looks okay, right? So here we're just gonna set this to 0.4, which means that this one also should be 0.4. Then this is scale 1.0, this is scale 1.0. And then we need to undo whatever other changes we made. Can we maybe we don't want this change. We do want all of these UI changes. We want this change, we want this change. And we want this change as well. We do not want any of these changes that fuck all that shit up. And we want update how to score. Okay, git commit -m whip show score in UI. All right. Discard, git stash the rest, I guess, to be safe. We are not in a Zig code base. We are in a Love 2D code base. We are in the wrong. Here we go. And let's see if this looks kind of reasonable now. Play. Continue. Give it a sec. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. I will argue that I think these numbers are too small now. But it is working. So we can always come back to this. Now we have like the diff that shows everything that we're kind of chilling. It also looks like between 660 and 660. Oh no, it is only showing at the right time. Okay. That's kind of sick. Dude, the 1.0 speed here is so crazy slow. How could anybody play on 1.0 speed? Okay. Cool. Cool. So now all we have to do is we have to inject the score underneath. Isn't the multi-box should go back to being red? That's a good point. Is it not red anymore? Did we leave it blue? Hand malt area. Was it UI malt? Yeah. Good eye. Okay. So we put this thing back to malt, and then underneath this thing, in this column, we want to put some I guess so we have this column is like for the malt text. So we want this top level row, this column has 1, 2 nodes here, and I guess we want maybe to just kind of slap an object in here, I would assume. An object sounds kind of reasonable. So we put some configs, right? And I guess we just kind of copy paste. Oh, shit. Okay. I would like to just copy this guy. Right, so he's some object. He's got some ID, which is a score text. His func is going to be hand score, or like hand score preview, I guess is a better name. Hand score preview UI set. He's going to be some Dynatext that, uses current hand with a score preview. Okay. And the rest I think is fine, right? So now we just have to like make those fields, right? So we kind of have to make hand malt UI set. We need to take this guy and we need to be like gfuncs this guy. And he is hand score preview UI set. And we'll print score preview for now. Then we need to create the score preview field on current hand. So whoever sets malt text, wait, is that right? Ref value malt text. So this should be score preview text if we're going to be matching everything, right? So hand malt, what is it? Malt text equals. So here it's score preview text. Okay. Cool. Now what? Whoever updates mult text, which is in this function here, is chill. Okay. Now I think the only thing we're missing is in the function here, where we need to generate new preview text. Mult score preview. What if we just do this? Okay, and then we need current hand score preview. So mult equals in like, where the fuck is like current hand equals? Oh, okay, so here we also set score preview. And this guy is 0 off rip. Okay, and then just in like update, what was it? Highlight did score here. This guy just needs to do the work that this guy was doing here. Just fucking set the score preview. Except our score preview is not we don't have like a number that we're updating here, so we're gonna be a little bit different. Probably. You're Dev, thanks for the raid. What's up, guys? Hope you guys had fun over there. So I guess, well, I guess we do kind of though, right? We kind of have like a tuple that we could put in here. We could make like score preview here. Calculated scores, right? This has to be in the actual game, so we actually want to put this back after we restore the game state backup. Okay. Then we go back to score preview UI set. This guy now needs to number format. What does this do? I guess we do the same thing, right? So we look at score preview 0, new min, new max, and we, you know, look at these guys. If then we like construct some text out of that. So we say like new score preview text is going to be, you know, new min with new max, probably, right? Right? Sure. Yeah. Then we set the score preview text to the score preview text. We set the object scale. We scale the number, you know, the same as everyone else. We update the text, and we probably don't give a fuck about text super juicing. We have no juicing to be done, probably. Maybe we want to, maybe let's try super juicing it. I don't fucking know, man. 1 and 2 in this language, right? And then I guess when we say score preview equals 0 here, this should be 0, 0, like this. Right? Sure. Blaze it. Fine. 1, 3, 6, 3. Oops, what the fuck did I just do? Okay, so we just clearly just didn't close something correctly. Which is super cool. We love this. This is really fun to debug brackets on. We probably just forgot this comma. I cannot believe we got that right. That's fucked. All right. Fuck. Score preview is a nil value in 1961. Button callbacks.lua 196. Surely we were wrong there. It's at surely we got the line number wrong. Surely it's in the fucking code that we just changed, not somewhere else unrelated, right? 1918. 1918. Right here. And he's complaining this isn't a number? Zero, zero. Calculated scores. Should be 2 numbers. What's he bitching about over here? What's this guy complaining about? Score preview is nil. We do set this to nil sometimes. Max. So our minimum number should be, I guess, or 0, 0. Maybe that solves our problem. Maybe. Fuck. How confusing. Am I fucking... Current round, current hand, 0, 0. Is this thing like not initialized or something? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Okay. So it should be G game, current round, current hand, score preview. Okay. Lose not 0 bits. Yeah, I agree. Did I fuck that up? That says 1 and 2. Did I... Should I not have said that? G game, current round, current hand. Okay. Cool. And malt. Oh, just malt, sorry. So does malt exist at this point? Malt is 0. Okay. Hello. I mean, it must also get set somewhere else. Self malt text. Can we look for like malt text equals? I mean, it's only in that one fucking spot. So how is this getting initialized and this is not? Right? Am I like fucking stupid? This is run on game init game object. So like surely, right? Current hand equals. Do we like ever reset this thing? I'm not like stupid, right? What the fuck? Like if I'm like literally copy pasting this. Okay, what about the text one? Does the text one exist? No? Malt text. Dude, where else could it be? What in the ever-loving fuck? Like, hello? How strange. How very, very strange. I don't understand. Is this possible this is being called before init game object? Surely not, right? Surely not. Yeah, I mean, self game equals here, like, that's crazy. Very, very confusing. Okay, I'm gonna try let's just say if not this, then end return. And let's just see if this kind of, maybe it gets like initialized later and I'm just confused. That's very possible. Very, very possible. Argument 1 to log 10 number expected got table. Yeah, true. I guess that makes sense, which means that this did get initialized later. So I guess all of these guys are using min here. Okay. And we are seeing it down here. But like, why is it over there? That means our like UI thing, wherever we put this guy, needs to be in like maybe another row for this to work properly. Maybe. You never know. What language you use to program C++? Question mark. Python. What is this like a joke? Is this like a man walks into a bar? HTML and JavaScript. Dude, are you like high? That's not that bad. I mean, the lag here obviously is pretty bad, but that's kind of fucking sick. That's kind of sick. Look at that. Okay. So we're very close now, actually. We just need to make it so that it disappears, and then I have some, like, the performance fixes, I know what the fix is. I just don't want to do it right now. It's like we have to basically, like, feed, we have to basically, like, do the pre-calculation in stages, so we need to, like, put it into a state machine and do it every once in a while, but I think I'm going to do that off stream because I don't really want to right now. I think that it'll become, maybe not. We'll see. At the very least, let's make it so. Let's start by removing the score text here, which should just be setting this to 0, 0. Okay. Oh, you know what it is? I think I just realized what the bug was. It's probably that it's fucking loading from a save file that doesn't have score preview in there. I bet you if we start a new game, now the score is 0, 0 there. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Neat. All right. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay, you know what? Fine. Fine. We'll do the performance fixes. We'll do the performance fixes because it feels like absolute shit. And I want it to not feel like absolute shit. Fine. Fine. You've convinced me. By saying do it. Do it, bitch. It's fine. Fine. Okay. I love your attitude. Okay, like you don't have to sarcastically say it like my boss always did. So we'll say score present. All right. Uh so what do we know? We know that can we like time where the expense is coming from? I mean, we kind of know, right? It's like it's this probably, but we should probably check. So love timer get time. This is get gime. uh, T1, we'll say T2 here, T3. So this is going to be like building up. T1 to T2 is like building up the restore table. T2 to T3 is actually calculating the scores. So let's do print build restore table took this long, like this, and running sim, check it, calculating score range took this long. All right. All right. So I'm assuming that this is like building restore table took 15 milliseconds. Calculating score range took 85 milliseconds. So yeah, I think probably if we were to just not do this part where we actually like do the score calculation, let's see if that feels good enough. Like, do we still have noticeable stutter? Not, I mean, it is there, but it's like so subtle. Am I like missing input events because of it? It's definitely there, right? Because it is like 17 fucking milliseconds. So we could probably break this up even more. We could break this up into like I guess like T15. We'll say initial evaluation, like pre-evaluation, I guess, is T15 to T1. All right. Bump, 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 bump. So pre-evaluation took maybe 13 milliseconds. Right. So that's easy to break up. Then this is like 9 milliseconds. Like, who gives a fuck? Probably. So we just need to break this guy up. Somehow these loops of like evaluate play mod, we need to put these onto like the event loop. Which I don't know how to do yet, but presumably it's not that hard. So we're going to have, I guess, some form of like state machine that we are going to hold as we run the state machine. Each chunk is going to swap G into our checkpoint. We're going to run for some amount of time. Then we're going to swap back, restore like global game state, but we're going to hold our like fake global game state for a while probably. So let's just, how do you write fucking classes in Lua? It's like learn X and Y. You make like a table, you shove some meta functions onto the table. Okay. So we make a table dog, who is the class. So this is going to be our like score calc state machine. And this guy is going to be like score calc state machine init, which is like, this is the same as doing like init equals function self ... He is going to construct a new object, and this new object is going to have all of the fields that we care about. And we're going to set the meta table on this guy to be our meta table. Then that means that all of our functions are going to be available, which means that we can start being like step, right? So on this guy, we're going to have like whatever our parameters were. Where was it? Update highlighted score. Okay, so we're gonna have some sort of like G. We'll call this G checkpoint. So checkpoint is going to be we do all this stuff. Let's kind of just pretend that we've already done all this. So we'll say that this is the checkpoint that we pass in. That way we can kind of test it without running the whole thing. So that's going to be here. Then we say at each step, we're going to have like our state. So our state is going to be one of like pre-evaluation, evaluating, finished, or probably just pre-eval and evaluating. So pre-evaluation, the point of this is to like run the run score calculation like 100 times and just see what values in our game state change, so that later when we're like applying these like when we're trying to restore checkpoints in between runs, we can only restore the things that matter, the things that actually change. So this guy is going to be like if state is equal to pre-eval, then, and we're going to say else print, we'll print that we are in eval and pre-eval. Okay. Then we are going to test this by creating store calc state machine init with something. And we're going to call sStep a few times. So nvim-l test lua. We forgot some commas again. Classic. He is mad because step doesn't fucking exist. So how the fuck do we manage that? Should we have not done... I thought this set meta table is supposed to make it so that step exists as a function in this guy? Which it does not look like it's happening. Do we do like score calc state machine? No? Am I stupid? This feels like how I've seen it done before. Here they have dog equals this. Can we just like run this? Print s dot make sound. Like, am I stupid? That says, that works fine. So is it because I didn't set the index? Yep, that's why. That's why. It's because I wasn't thinking. So set meta table, I want to do it like this. Index equals self. There we go. There we go. I like that better. Okay. So now we go back to being like, what do we call this thing? Score calc state machine step. All right, there we go. So he said pre-eval. We're going to say like, in here, let's say that we want to run some loop like n times. So we're going to probably have a parameter here that's like steps like iters per step. So let's say that we want to do, 10 steps per iteration, and we're going to say like, maybe like iteration cap, like pre-eval iters is equal to 20, and we'll say eval iters is going to equal to 40, right? We'll do something like that. Now that means that in here we need to keep track of our index, or like num iters run. Okay. And so here we're going to be like for I equals num iters run, self dot num iters run, to score calc state machine dot iters per step. So we're going to say like iter max is this plus this. We are going to print pre-eval plus self num iters run here. And we're going to say like print step here, I guess. Okay. Then iter self num iters run is equal to iter max. Cool. And I think we're just going to do almost the exact same loop here. Almost. Then if this guy's going to have to say when he's complete or something, probably. Yeah, we'll figure that out, I guess. Because I think that he's going to have to like inject himself back into the event loop every time he runs or something. So I guess we can just handle that later. So we're gonna say like if self num iters run is greater than or equal to score calc state machine pre-eval iters. Then and we're gonna say self num iters run equals 0 and self state is equal to eval. That makes sense. Then we're gonna say like else if self state is equal to eval, we do this. Otherwise, we do nothing. Okay. Cool. So we're going to do like the same thing here. We're going to check if we have finished evaluating with eval iters. And we'll say complete here. Okay. And now if we run this, we do see that we get, okay, let's get rid of these step logs. So we see pre-eval 10, pre-eval 20, eval 10, 20, and then we should be able to see like, if we run this a few more times, we go through 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, done. Okay, cool. So this gives us kind of like the framework that we need to hook this up in the actual app. So let's bring this over now into our update highlighted score guy. And this is going to be iters per step. 10 seems reasonable. Pre-eval iters we had at 100, and eval iters we had at 1,000. Okay. Now the actual actions that this guy takes are going to be kind of unconditionally here. We're going to be saying like G is equal to checkpoint. And then at the end, I guess we're gonna have to restore G at the end of this thing. So local G backup is equal to G. We say G equals checkpoint. At the end, we say G equals G backup like this. So that kind of makes sure that like the global game state is in the right state. This should be self dot checkpoint. And then in the pre-eval loop, we do whatever we were doing in the pre-eval loop, which was this guy, right? And then in the actual eval loop, we do whatever we were doing in the actual eval loop, which was this stuff. Here, which means that we need like restore table in here. Okay. Chill. So now we can try to do this the way we were doing it before. But we do like without hooking it up to like their event loop yet. We can just kind of run this guy in line. So we need the checkpoint, we need the restore table, which means that this kind of comes down here. Calc state machine is equal to this. And we should just be able to do like while calc state machine dot state is not equal to done. We run this guy. Okay, cool. And I guess log score needs to be something that we put in the eval section of this guy, and the calculated scores should actually live kind of like long term. So this should be like self-calculated scores everywhere. Like this. Wasn't it complete? Probably. Yeah, it was. Good eye. Okay. Infinite loop incoming. Yeah, we would have seen it. And then the restore table has to be generated before switching here. So we need to set the restore table here, not pass it in off rip. We don't have it until the pre-eval section is complete. That's the whole point of the pre-eval section, is to generate that restore table. So that means that we should kind of be able to bring all of this down to look kind of like this. This goes away. And now we should be able to set this to calc state machine dot calculated scores. That seems kind of reasonable. I'm sure that we're gonna find some problems here. But I'm down to just kind of run it and see what happens. What's the plan for this mod? Just to kind of show score on the left side. Like pre-calculate the score and show it on the left so that you don't have to like do the math yourself. Table index is nil at build restore table 640. Which means right, because this has to be self.checkpoint now. True. Fucking interpreted languages, man. Like, surely, like, I can't believe anybody chooses to program this way. It's just like, what if we just didn't check if things worked? Okay, so that looks like it's working, right? We see 315 to 315 show up there. We sell our jokers and maybe add a randomness one just to double check that like we're not doing something stupid. We could also check the restore table is working correctly by doing the okay, game speed. Get the fuck. Oh god, not 0.5. That's way too slow. Go get fast. We could add in that combo of face card gives you money and money makes you have higher scores. So now we should see this is not right. Right? That's not good. That means that our restore table is no longer being applied correctly. Right? Yeah. That's not good. That is not good because G and self checkpoint. Okay, and then we apply the restore table of self restore table, which I feel like should work. G backup here. Oh, I think we kind of did a couple things here. I think, yeah, I think before we had 2 deep copies and now we don't. So we make G backup, then we deep copy G. Okay. Then we like set up the play state. Then here we should just be able to be like, here is the checkpoint. Yeah. Which makes sense. But that means that like we have like current state and restore point probably. Deep copy checkpoint. And then when we calculate the restore table, we should be looking at the difference between how does build restore table work? Old. So it should be like current, which is the checkpoint, and the restore point. And this should be like, maybe we even call this like pre-eval restore point to make it clear. Then we can even do like pre-eval restore point equals nil. Let the garbage collector clean that shit up if it wants to. That should give us a more sane restore table, I think. Maybe? I don't fucking know, man. Don't ask me. I just work here. Okay. So we add in those 2 jokers, this guy and this guy. Still not good, huh? Yeah, that's not what I was hoping for at all. I don't know why this is different than it was before, which is bothering me. We're not like returning in any case, are we? No. Am I positive that like this is new behavior? I'm pretty sure it is, but we could always double check. I'm pretty sure that this wasn't happening before. Collection, jokers. This thing. This thing. Oh, this was. Fuck. I tested this yesterday when I made this restore table stuff. I swear I made sure that this case worked the way I wanted it to. It means that the restore table is like not working correctly. Ugh. That's annoying. Oh, that's so fucking annoying. Build, restore table. I guess we need to like oh, that's so fucking annoying. Okay, so we run our initial thing. We can we like look at like KV in pairs restore table? Do like count how many things are in the restore table? Num items in restore table. Oh, that's so fucking annoying. Bad argument 1 to pairs. True. True. True, 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 true. Two items in the restore table. That does seem kind of sussy. Does seem kind of sussy. Pre-eval itters 100. Okay, can we just like go into build restore table for a second? And comment out some of these things that we're skipping. And then also unconditionally add everything to the restore table just to like fucking make sure I'm not crazy. Okay, so now this is going slow as shit, as expected. And even then it's not working, which makes me think applying the restore table is not working correctly. Ugh. Oh. This is kind of wrong. How annoying. I mean, it could also be like state management as well. I could be fucking that up somehow. Somehow? Like if we do like G equals deep copy pre-eval restore point. Just as a test here, which again, we know will take forever, but like I just want to understand how fucking broken this is. Every time you crash, I'm hoping that there isn't some crash reporting mechanism that's making the dev go crazy. Yeah, that would suck. Huh. I did set this to nil, huh? Let's try again. All right. So now this is slow as shit, as expected. Like really slow as shit. We're gonna wait for him to get to 1,000 and make sure that it's working. Dude, hurry up. Maybe I should set the number lower.